One of the things about doing our journey through the Bible is it is a little difficult in that we are in the book of Lamentations, which is a very sad and painful book in the week after Christmas, when many of us are hopefully still enjoying some times of vacation, have family or children or grandchildren or parents or grandparents visiting. So it's a little bit of a contrast to the emotions that at least some of us are hopefully feeling this week. I hope that you are able to have some time with some people who are important to you. In Lamentations, as we continue, we're in chapter 2 today, and the verse of the day is Lamentations 2, verse 18. And this says, "Cry aloud to the Lord, O wall of daughter Zion. Let tears stream down like a torrent, day and night. Give yourself no rest, your eyes no respite." And this is part of, in chapter 2, of the people just crying out to God for mercy. And again, they have seen their city of Jerusalem just utterly destroyed, buildings knocked down, homes destroyed, so many people killed. And what's interesting is if you read chapter 2, the writer is attributing all of this to God. It's always interesting to me, right, that when something bad or horrible happens, sometimes part of our response, perhaps even just initially, is the "why me, God? Why did this happen to me?" And we assume that God is the source of it. You notice people rarely say "why me" when they win Powerball or have something good happen to them, because we tend to assume we deserve good things, but we don't deserve hardship or adversity or pain or difficulty. And so if you look in the early verses of chapter 2, it's "the Lord has destroyed without mercy. He has cut down in his fierce anger. He has bent his bow like an enemy." And so the psalmist is attributing all this to God. He has broken down his booth. He has destroyed his tabernacle. He has scorned his altar. And I don't know how you feel about that, but to me, I read all of these verses and I think, well, is it really God who did all this? Or is it the Babylonians? Is it in some way, have the people brought on what they would call the judgment of God by their own behavior and decisions? So often in the Bible, especially we'll see in the prophets, God's judgment is simply God allows people to experience the consequences of their choices. And tragically, the consequence of the people's unfaithfulness that we heard so much about in Jeremiah is that they would be conquered and destroyed. And sadly, that's happened. When adversity, hardship, and difficulty happens, assessing blame is something we naturally often sometimes do, but sometimes, as Lamentations 2:18 says, sometimes what we need to do is just have a good cry, and to cry out to God at the pain that we're witnessing and experiencing. And sometimes you and I may need to do that too.